Hey guys, this is Mel, and I'm back to talk about Legacies, episode 115, titled I'll Tell You a Story, which premiered Thursday, March 21st, 2019 on the CW, recording roughly 20 minutes after the episode is aired. So huge spoiler alert, if you guys haven't seen the episode already, please go do so first, then come back and see what I have to say about the episode. My other video reminders are up on screen, so take a moment to remind yourselves of those. I'm telling you right now, go watch the episode. It's a huge origin story, and I will not do it justice. I might misinterpret things as well, but I'm telling you right now, go watch it. I'm going to try to do this in 25 minutes. Before I do that, a huge special shout out to YouTube user TK Scarif. I hope I said that wrong. I probably didn't. But thank you for the comments on 113 that you left after I had recorded and edited my video for 114. And thanks for the subscription as well. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it, guys. And also, heads up, I've had a very bad day at work. Got some bad news. So if anything, I was hoping Legacies would really cheer me up, and it definitely did. So let's talk about it. So 25 minutes has started now. So let's begin with what happened in this episode. So episode quote itself, I'll tell you a story, was said by Agent Ryan Clark to Landon. And boy, what a story he left. Am I telling you, right? So there's that. Timeline-wise, I want to say it's the day after the events of 114, just because of how long Landon has been at the school. But there are sometimes in the episode where they make reference to the fact that it's been a few days, but I don't know what few days they're referencing to. So based off of how long Landon's been gone, and they haven't put out a search party yet, I'm gonna say it's a day after the whole pageant thing. So there's that. So huge episode reminder, though, is the fact that we get the huge origin story of how Malvor was created. And coincidentally, it is connected to Landon's father, which is what I'm going to get into with the featured creature for this episode. So we don't actually see a creature attacking the school. This has a lot to do with either the issues among the students themselves at the school, or it's Landon learning about the featured creature, which happens to be his father. So in this case, we get to find out how Malvor was created. Originally, it was the golem, known as the Eater of the Dark, and hopefully I get the abridged version correctly, but it was a mud creature that was created by the Unholy Triad, which was a vampire, a witch, and a werewolf. They all came together and created this golem creature to take to stop the dragons from attacking villages a millennia ago. Apparently, they were the fear. I'll put the quote up on screen right now because I did copy that. Let me just try to find that. It's a little harder. Yeah, it says, there's no monster more terrifying than dragons. On their own, no faction was a match for dragons. And then that's why a witch, a vampire, and a werewolf combined their blood and created a golem that had such a great hunger to consume things, yet because it was made under the three blood, it could not harm vampires, witches, or werewolves. So the golem attacked the dragons, and it consumed them. It ate them and consumed them. And with every consumption he had, the monster's DNA was absorbed, causing the golem to evolve. Agent Clark said that only the Triad themselves could destroy him by removing the mark that they placed on him. But before they could have the chance to do that, the golem had put the humans on their side, kind of made it seem like the golem is there to protect the humans from monsters, so the humans wouldn't allow the Unholy Triad to destroy their newfound god. So they rallied against those three monsters. So the humans set the golem free to consume any monster that came in its wake. So with each monster it consumed, it evolved, and it became more alive. Eventually came to a point where the golem realized it is truly only one of its kind, and he wanted to reproduce, to create someone just like him. He did that, but they were all flawed and they were all sterile. So he had to find a way to continue his legacy. And apparently Landon was his success story, because as part human, he would be able to reproduce and continue on the genetic legacy but because he's part creature, he will be able to live forever as a phoenix. Also finds out that Agent Clark turned against the humans. He turned the humans against the golem, and that's how the humans used black magic to dissolve the golem into the black pit, now known as Malivore. So Ryan ended up being one of the golem's first creations that he tried to make into his own self-image. So that's quite a lot right there. So we'll eventually get back to that later, though. But episode breakdowns, there's quite a few going on. Again, like I mentioned, the first storyline had to deal with the origin story about Malivore. Second one being Twin Troubles. Third one being Hope's apology attempts. And the fourth one being Wolfing Out. With the first storyline, I just kind of briefly abridged it, where Landon learns the origin story of his father. We also find out that there were 6 keys to Malivore, 3 of them being the true keys and 3 of them being decoys, because apparently they couldn't completely destroy the golem. They could only lock it away, which is when they dissolved it. So there's that. So Ryan is now trying to awaken their father and set him free as a way to stop Triad Industries, who are now trying to use the properties of the Malivore pit to weaponize it and to destroy all creatures, since Malivore still can't harm witches, werewolves, or vampires. But now they're trying to weaponize it in hopes that they could eliminate all creatures on Earth, which is also terrifying. Which pretty much eliminates the whole population at the Salvador School. So there's that. Twin Troubles, we do see Josie trying to research about the merge on her own, though every book she tries to come across has the pages ripped out. Probably Alaric's doing. While she's doing this, we see Lizzie trying to gain Josie's forgiveness back, which is just not happening. We also see them go against each other in like a siphon magic battle, to the point where we see Josie winning. Had me wondering if this is going to be a sample of what it would be like when the merge battle happens between them. So there's that. We also see Hope finding out about the merge when she contacts her Aunt Freya. She does so because she promised Lizzie that she would find out what it means, because Lizzie fears that the merge was supposed to be a spell that separated her from her sister and had them leading each other's lives, because that's kind of what Josie was preaching about, how maybe they should be leading separate lives and be their own separate people, instead of the whole codependency they have going on. I'm sorry, I tried to take a drink there. So there's that. But in the end, we have Alaric telling the twins about the merge after Hope admits to him that she found out what it is that is supposed to happen to them when they hit 22. So there's that. The third one is Hope's apology attempts. So with thanks to Lizzie bringing it up, Hope uses Emma's therapy prism that allows her to simulate a conversation with Landon so she can work on what her apology will be like for him. She does it a few times to this her subconscious recreation of Landon, and while doing so, she ended up in the last round. She ended up admitting to Landon that he loved him, and so there's stuff there. A lot of other things were brought into light about like the motive behind why she kept her secret and stuff like that. So there's that. And the fourth storyline with Wolfing Out, we do see Raphael struggling with the elixir that Hope had given him. So instead of dealing with the psychosis he had when he was pulled from his transition prematurely, now he struggles with the human and wolf parts of his mind fighting each other for control. Where he's losing time, he's being more aggressive. So everyone's trying to tell him, you need help, you need to do something about this. So in the end, Hope gives Raphael a reverse. From what I understand, it's like the moonlight ring that allows a werewolf to tap into their ability to change into a wolf at will and not being restricted to the moon. But from the sounds of it, Hope gives him the reverse of that ring, where he could turn into a wolf and just kind of, I think it's a reversal. I don't know if it's still the same ring, and she just explains it further of what he's capable of doing. But from my understanding, she gives him the ring in hopes that he could use it to turn himself into a wolf and stay there longer than the one full moon night, so that to allow for his wolf mindset to realign itself again, and because it was unhinged during that psychosis, and then whenever he's ready, he's supposed to come find her, and she will help him revert back to his human form, type of thing. It definitely meant to give his mind time to adjust to the rupture that's going on. They also talk about the fact that She was wondering why he didn't come to her about this, and he was like, he doesn't know how to talk to her anymore. And to the one person he wants to talk about this to, he can't, because he doesn't know how to be around her when he's still struggling with these feelings he has for her. So they kind of deal with it there below, but she tells him to focus on himself and to get better, and then let everybody else worry about their own stuff. So there's that. The last scene of the episode shows people from Triad breaching the gates of the Salvatore school, and they have crossbows with wooden stakes latched in, ready to face on the students. So that's a terrifying thing there. But moving on to characters very quickly, for Ryan Clark, we do find out that he was one of the first creations of the Golem, so he's probably at least a millennia old, maybe just slightly younger than Rebecca Michelson or Freya Michelson, even, because it's between the two of them as the oldest beings to walk the earth right now. So he could be just slightly younger than them. So yeah, there's that. So he's been kind of like jumping fences between like who he's aligned with. Is he on the Golem side? He's with the human side. But now that Triad wants to weaponize the pit and use it against all monsters, he wants to stop them from doing that for his own selfish purposes, or just because like they're in the wrong and they're power crazed now. Who knows? Also with Emma, she tells Alaric in this episode that she's going to take a sabbatical. I didn't really understand the reasoning as to why she wanted to leave now before certain things happened, but I do know it's because the actress got signed to another show. So I did read that a few weeks ago. So there's that. Also with Dorian, we do see him returning after Alaric apologized to him at his new job as a bartender. So there's that. But yeah, so with that, when Alaric was doing the whole apology tour thing, it just showed him at the side of the bar. I didn't think it was Dorian. For some stupid reason, I didn't think it would be him, even though Emma kind of prefaced the fact that you should really bring him back and like go against your, just step on that pride of yours and just ask for help. So even though she kept saying, like mentioning you need to bring Dorian back, you need to bring Dorian back, for some reason when Alaric was doing that apology and he was on the end of the bar, and they weren't showing who he was talking to, I thought for some stupid reason it was going to be some character we haven't seen on Legacies before, but we have seen on the Vampire Diaries for some reason. I thought like maybe, it might be Matt, or it might be Damon, or even though that's not possible. But it's like, I thought it might be like someone, like a character we've already known and we weren't expecting to see, and then Alaric comes in to like come and help me type of thing. I thought, and then when I see Dorian, it's like, oh, that makes more sense. But I kind of deflated my little bubble there. So there's that. But moving on. With Roman, we do see him again in this episode. And we do find out that he is leaving. Alaric is sending him back out in the field. But he does help Hope figure out that Landon is actually in trouble and not just taking a camping trip like his message said. So there's that. With Josie, we find out a side tidbit, the fact that banana cream pie is her favorite. And then with Lizzie, we found out that she stopped taking her medication when she returned from Europe. She was trying alternative methods to manage her brain chemistry that she's been fighting with. But the fact that she's not taking her meds means she's more unstable with her magic more frequently. So there's that. But tidbit-wise, they did show like a magical codex or a magical search bar type thing in the library, and I thought that was pretty cool, especially when everything's digital now. It's like, sure, why not? You can just do the search bar or search the database to see, okay, what information or what book you would need. But like for the Salvatore school and like all the archives that they have in all these different books, you can't really digitalize all of that, right? So instead they use the magic codex, and you just do a search word like merge, and then all the books that would have a mention of it would pop out, and I thought that was pretty cool. So there's that minor tidbit there. But moving on to most shocking moment of the episode. It was part shock and part like confirmation of the fact that I was right. So first part of the fact, I was shocked by the depth of the origin story with Malivore, the fact that we got the whole backstory of Gollum, the Eater of the Dark and all that. The fact that he was a creature made from mud that could, Gollum, the name Gollum kind of goes with the mud creature type thing, but the fact that eventually turned into the Malivore pit, and then like with the more that he consumed, the more alive he became. to the point that he actually became someone that could be Landon's father. I mean, I was also confirmation right there. Didn't I not say in one of my previous videos that I thought that Landon's father would be some very big head honcho of Malivore? I mean, I didn't expect it to be the pit itself, but like, I'll have to go back while I'm editing this to see which video it is, but it'll be on screen right there. But I'm very certain I had said at one point that Landon's father would be a creature from Malivore, and he would be like a higher up to the point that Landon would be like, kind of like the unrenowned, or will be like the pseudo prince of it all, and his father be like the pseudo king. Did I not say that? I mean, like, we definitely, I'll put the video up so if you need to go double check, fact check, you can see that I was onto something way before we found this out, though. So there's that. But a huge shock, I would have to say, is the fact that Ryan Clark was, I mean, I kind of had suspicions, like, again, previously, that he might be a creature when it was revealed that he's actually trying to unlock Malivore. So I kind of had already an idea that, okay, maybe he's actually a monster himself. But I didn't expect for him to be the older brother of Landon, or view himself as the older brother of Landon. Like, I mean, yeah, like, you know what I mean? It's like, I didn't expect that. So there's like a shock there. So there's that. And even to know that, like, he's been there throughout it all. He's like, is he technically alive? Is he not? Is he like, he's just clay, right? It's like, I don't know. But he's like been around for a millennia. Like I said, as long as the originals themselves. So it's like, wow. So there's that. So moving on to top 3 favorite moments. I will say the first one would have to be all the sessions we got with like Hope and her prism Landon. I know that probably sounds weird, but on screen I spelt it correctly. It was just interesting to see all the different attempts that she makes to apologize, and then to see what her subconscious would think Landon would react to in that way. And especially the best one was when she accidentally lets it, let me find it, when she accidentally lets it slip that, if I have it, okay, I wanted you to stay because I love you. And then like, she's shocked and she's like, I can't believe I said that. And then his reaction, or her subconscious version of his reaction, was, the first time you tell me you love me and it's not even the real me. And just like, I love that so much, because like, it kind of diffuses how like awkward it is that she just made that realization that, oh crap, I just said that. And it's like, it's not even to him, the real him, and it's just like her subconscious reacting to the fact that you just confessed that to me and I'm not even him type of thing. It was pretty funny. You gotta admit, that was pretty funny. So there's that. And they were just so adorable together. It's like, yeah, I'll leave it at that. Another favorite of mine has to be Alaric telling Josie and Lizzie about the merge. I mean, it was about damn time that he did. But like, it got so emotional, and you could see like they did a really fantastic job with that scene. Especially with Alaric, like, just explaining, like, he really got you to feel like why there was never the right time to tell your kids that there's going to be a day where you're going to have to fight each other until the death, and only one of you will survive. And in order to do that, you're killing your other half type of thing. So it got very emotional right there. It's also another thing we find out, because the twins did mention something. Like, I was wondering, why would the merge still continue if there's no Gemini Coven? Because like Alaric said that the merge happens between twins to determine who would be the next leader of the Gemini Coven. And I always wondered, well, if there's no Gemini Coven, why would they still have to merge? But then Josie brought up the point that it's not just the Coven. It goes deep. It's not just the role the twin would have to play in the Coven. It goes deeper to the fact that the Gemini twins were cursed. So I mean, I hope we get into that origin story for sure. I can't wait to see who the original Gemini twins were. I think that would be such an amazing storyline, and it definitely brings up to the point, like, for origin stories go, it makes sense why like that would be an issue and stuff. And they definitely brought into light for the twins as to why Caroline's been away all this time, because she's trying to find an answer. So I definitely cannot wait to see the whole backstory between the curse for the Gemini twins and how it came to become the merge that it is feared now as. So anyways, that just got very emotional. It's another storyline I definitely want to see further on, despite how much of a time frame. I mean, like, they only got 6 years left to figure this out. So just wanting to learn more about it, because we only touched base a little bit about it in season 6 of the Vampire Diaries, when you had Joe and Kai having to deal with it, and then Liv and Luke having to deal with it. So there's that. Another favorite I liked was when Hope got Roman to help her out, figure out how, with Landon's message, just to see where he was being held and like where he was at when he made it. And with Roman's vampire hearing, he was able to pick up on these little background noises, which Hope concluded that he was stuck at Triad Industries. I just really liked that, and it was really smart for her to bring him in that way. I kind of wish that, like, I wanted to see Hope do it, like tap into the vampire part of her and do that. But I do appreciate that, like, she knew that she couldn't have that power yet, or she doesn't have that ability yet. I'm hoping she does eventually. But it was great to see her bring Roman in to do it. I mean, she could have had MG do it, but she brought Roman, who is an experienced vampire, use his skills to help her out. And I do appreciate that. I also love the fact that he reaffirmed to Hope that she was not a mistake, and that the Cosmos is lucky to have her, because he had overheard her confessing to Prism Landon that there's a little voice inside of her head saying that she's a mistake. She's not supposed to exist because she's a natural loophole, right? So I just really appreciate him comforting her over those concerns. So there's that. Another favorite I did like was the newfound friendship between Hope and Lizzie, how they're trying to help each other get back their special someone. Lizzie was able to help Hope get the prism so that she could practice her apology. She was able to be a soundboard for Hope when it came to that. Also for Lizzie, I really appreciate how she was getting support from Hope. I mean, baking together, the fact that Hope was trying to get answers about the merge for Lizzie to try to calm her down, the fact that she was trying to be there for her during her little magic breakdown that she had in her room, and then going to seek out Josie to try to get some closure for them, and then finding out about the meds. I'm really liking the partnership between Hope and Lizzie. It's not something I thought I would want to see, but now that I'm getting it, I'm definitely enjoying it. So there's that. Now, like always, I always said I was going to include an Alark and Hope moment, but to be honest, this episode doesn't really have anything much for me to comment on. The only like real interaction they had was when they were listening to Landon's message for the first time, and then when Hope confronted Alark about the merge after she got off the phone with her Aunt Freya about it. I guess I could comment about that, because she was able to convince him to be the one to tell the twins about it instead of letting that fall onto her. So I guess that's a tiny one there. But moving on to top 3 peeve moments. The only peeve I really had with this episode was the slight confusion I felt whenever we went back to the Malivore origin story. It's just that, especially when the consumption was involved, because if you're saying, because like, if I just don't understand how a mud creature could evolve to a point where he would be able to procreate, and it resulting in Landon. Like, the way, I don't know, it's just like the way they explained the consumption part of it, the way how they said that with every monster he consumed, it consumed its DNA, it consumed its powers. So then what does that mean? That I guess this is a question I was going to ask later, but then does that mean, like, what does that mean? Like, what powers does the golem have? Or is it just an amalgamation of all the powers of all the monsters it consumed? And if that's the case, then what about Landon? Why is Landon considered a phoenix then? Or is the phoenix the result of all that amalgamation of all the powers the golem has consumed and transferred into Landon during the procreation of him with Sayla? So it's just like, and then also the fact that because the Malivore pit consumed humans over the years, and then it absorbed their DNA and their ability to reproduce, and like that's why I have no idea. It's just like, this is one of the very confusing monsters I could think of, because you're like trying to mix so many, like, it's a very compelling story, but then when you try to get down to like the finer pieces of it, it's like what does this entail? It's like, which part of it makes this happen? It's just like, I'm so confused. I mean, like, it made sense all the way up to the fact where Landon's connected to it. Like, it makes sense how like a mud creature wanted to make more like him, so he ended up making more mud creatures like him, but they just ended up being like him and not like the way he wanted it to. So then how does a mud creature actually make a biological mud creature, if that makes sense? Or how does a mud creature get you a phoenix? I expected a phoenix to get you to a phoenix, but it's like, yeah, that's the only peeve there, because it's just like the technicalities behind it is really messing with my head right now. So there's that. But moving on to what moment will I remember most when I look back on this episode, the fact that we get the origin stories of Malivore, for sure, or Gollum. I'm just going to call it Malivore. That just sounds so much cooler that way. So there's that. So random questions. I did mention my first one in the peeves with the whole, like, what is Landon considered if his father is like amalgamation of all these powers that he has consumed and all this DNA that he's consumed, then why is he a phoenix, or how is he even a phoenix? So there's that question there. The second question is, now that the twins know about the merge, will that change the current feud that they have going on between each other? Or would they just not be frosty towards each other anymore and they try to figure out a way to work through their issues? So there's that. Another question is, if you need the original members of the unholy triad to destroy the golem, that is the vampire, the witch, and the werewolf, there's a timer, who were used to shed their blood and create the golem, I am left wondering, could Hope be their replacements, because could Hope's blood be the replacement because she has vampire, witch, and werewolf blood in her system? So could she be the loophole there is to destroy the golem once and for all? Because also, if you really think about it, Hope stems from the original vampire bloodline. She even is the creator of her own vampire bloodline as well. You also have her being she's also the last living descendant of one of the 7 original werewolf bloodlines. So there's that. And then also with the witch, her grandmother Esther was considered the original witch. She was powerful enough to create the vampire spell. I don't know if that would count, but that would assume that she came from a long line of strong witches if she was able to pull that spell off, right? So I'm wondering if anyone's going to be able to stop the golem, it would have to be Hope's blood, right? With the whole 3 species inside of her, right? Maybe that's why hers wasn't an unnatural conception for her, because at one point she would be needed to destroy the golem, right? And also, side part, Landon's blood is needed to release the golem from Malivore. So there's that. I wonder if the golem would be able to take on a human face like Ryan is able to. That's another unexpected question there. But another question is Landon leading Ryan to the true third key of Malivore, or is he leading him to the decoy? So there's that. And also, is Landon trying to head back to the Salvatore school to get backup for himself, and that's why he said it was the chalice that was what they were looking for? Or because honestly, if they were gonna, I don't know why they would have left clues behind that they were going to go after the chalice if they didn't want Triad to find them, and yet Triad ended up at the school. So I'm wondering if Landon led Ryan to the school so he could have the Hope and the rest of the students as backup or something. I don't know. So there's that. Also, does Ryan have powers at all, or is he just an immortal clay creature and that's it? I mean, I guess he could be impervious to like weapons and stuff because it would just not go through him or make a dent, right? I have no idea. So there's that. So moving on to predictions very quickly. Based off the promo for 116, this is the season finale. So thankfully, we already know we're going to get a season 2, so I don't have to be too worried about certain people, but it still means I'm going to have to wait a while before I can find out what happens next. But anyways, the promo shows Triad Industries attacking the Salvatore school, and the students are powerless within the walls of it. So we do see Hope, Josie, and Lizzie being held at gunpoint by one Triad Industry member. We do see another one holding a weapon against MG, who's standing on the stairs. So there's that. Tensions are high, I'll say. So yeah. The synopsis, though, for the season finale is that when a group of unwelcome visitors descends upon the Salvatore school, Hope leads the charge to keep her friends safe. Meanwhile, MG uncovers a secret about his mother, and Josie finds herself in dire situation. So the secret might be the fact that Veronica Greasley is part of Triad Industries. So that could be the case there. And maybe that's how she got a handle on vampire blood, and maybe that's how MG got it in his system the day he died. So that could be something there. Yeah, I have no idea. I'm still trying to figure out like how did he become a vampire. But yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. So what did you guys think of this episode? What did you guys like about it? What do you think will happen in the finale? Let me know in the comments down below. Love to hear your thoughts, theories, and opinions about all that fun stuff. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want, check out my Tumblr page. The link for that is down below. I reblog promos, web clips, quotes, gifs, synopses, news, all the good stuff, all found in one place. Go check it out. I am behind, fully aware of that. Hopefully I'll get right back into it, but do keep a close eye on that. Also, WordPress account, link for that is down below. I reblog, or I don't reblog. Anything I post online is connected to my WordPress account. It's a little more organized, it's a little more detailed, but it's still a work in progress as well. But otherwise, that is pretty much it, guys. So the plan for the finale video is I am going to record my live reaction to it. We'll see how the uploading and editing goes, but hopefully that video will be the setup next time. Let me know in the comments if there's any questions or any theories you might have for the finale that you maybe want me to address thereafter, or predictions for season 2. But yeah, just let me know. But otherwise, until then, guys, this is Mel. Wish you all a great day, great week wherever you are. And this episode definitely cheered me up, so it did its job. Take care, guys. Bye.